Well, hey everybody, it is Romania Black, and if you can believe it, we are on the final month of March. That's so weird. 41 episodes. We're on the 41st week of this show. That's 44 weeks when we get done. That'll be almost a year. That is wild to me. It's like been almost like nearly 10 or 11 months with March. That's so crazy. Don't clock my math on that because I'm not a math person, but still. 41 straight weeks of March. It has been so amazing. I can't believe it's gone by this fast. I feel like the very first arc went by fairly slow and kind of just built it up. And then once season 2 hit, it was just, I feel like season 2 has skyrocketed and has just gone by so quickly, and I cannot explain it any other way. But yeah, we're on episode 41 of March Comes In Like a Lion, and last week we had an amazing set of episodes. I would argue that 39, I was so torn because 37 is one of my favorites where we find out all the secrets about Soya, and then 38 was amazing in setting everything up, and then 39 and 40, the match between Shimada and Yanagihara is maybe one of my favorite matches in the whole series, and it's not even the match with Rei. Rei is like, I'm over here, y'all, but honestly, some of my favorite episodes in this series have involved Hina and then Shimada and Yanagihara and Nikaido. They've not involved our main character at all. And so I thought that was really, really interesting. And I've found it very intriguing. And I'm not complaining. Any show that can function well with or without the main character, I think is a sign of a good show. So that's just my opinion anyway. But yeah, so I'm excited. We have 4 episodes left of this season. Obviously, the manga is ongoing. Obviously, I'm going to be waiting to see if Shaft ever makes a season 3. I'm going to hold out hope because this season is so good. I don't want to go ahead and read the manga until Shaft makes a 3rd season. But I am curious, like obviously episode 44 is obviously probably going to leave off to go on with the manga, but I'm very curious how we lead up to that and what these final episodes will be about. So knowing March, they're going to be funny but heartfelt, and I'm going to do my best to not cry these last 4 episodes. So task accepted. Because these last 2 episodes have made me weep, and I'm like, how dare you, show? So anyway, I'm super excited. I hope you all are as well. I do have one comment I want to talk about before we dive in. Tater Salad 666 pointed out that speaking of EDs, I forgot to mention in the last episode, the new ED is sung by Ruan, who was 14 at the time, which is crazy how powerful and mature her voice sounds. Yeah, I went on to Spotify and I have like a little playlist that I work out with, and I was like, this song's so uplifting that I wanted to include it on the playlist, and I listened to it all the way through. I thought she was 30. I don't know how a 14-year-old can have the richness and the maturity and the exuberance embedded within a voice that she does at age 14 with this ending. Oh my God. It's insane. Also, Ruan, the song is called I Am Standing. The whole full song, it was like, if you want a morning commute to get you just riled up for work, you play that song. Like, it is instantly motivating. And I'm like, ah. So I was so floored by that. That's so wild to me. But anyway, that's the comment. So thank you, Tater Salad, for mentioning that. But yeah, I'm super excited, y'all. I have no clue what to expect, but it's going to be a fun time. So with that being said, we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to dive right in and see what we get with episode 41 of March Comes In Like a Lion. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. I was like, every time that the OP holds off, I'm like, is it gonna come on? But yeah. I do like this OP a lot, and I want to savor it these last couple weeks. Is it my favorite OP? I feel like some of the early ones I liked better, but I Am Standing has quickly maybe become one of my favorite EDs. I love it so much. I have liked how the EDs and OPs have evolved along with the show. Those have been a lot of fun to see. We focus a lot about the Kaminato sisters, so maybe we'll end off the season with them and Rei. That would be fun. Aww. Yeah, like maybe they could go on a trip together. Yeah, so those three cats were in the end card with Shimada in the last episode. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now what's with the dandelions? The three dandelions. What are we gonna do with those? Oh, well, Momo has those. And he has those. Okay. Being here sounds like summer. Uh. Hmm. Are they making... Oh. I love the baking shop's called Crescent Moon. Aww. Okay. Welcome back to the baking show. Aww. It's too simple. Okay. My years of watching Great British Baking Show is giving me somewhat of an understanding as well. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Aw. Oh, that's cute. That's a cute technique. That's a cute technique. Oh my god. Aww. A little big. Oh no, they will expand. Gotcha. Momo's will be enormous. Oh my god. Aww. Burbling up to the surface. Oh. Oh my god, Momo. Oh, that's cool. Oh. I love it. Uh. Oh. Oh. Nice. Oh, matcha. Yeah. I really actually like matcha a lot. I didn't know if I would. But yeah, it is a pricey. Hmm. Sell the matcha ones for 100 yen more. Because it'll cut the price. Oh, wow. Ooh, and tapioca. Nice, yes. Oh. What? He's like, wait, what? What? Wait, what? How'd I get roped into this? That's super cute. Oh. 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 It's actually really good. Oh my god. Nice. Oh. Oh, that's so cute. The plum syrup. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I love that. Oh, her friend contributing. That's so cute. And we're on summer vacation. Okay, so are we flashing back maybe? Oh. 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 Puppies are adorable. Yes. And them all having their voices. Oh. Shut up. Of course, the dogs are all like, "We love you," all the time. Much different than the cats. Oh. 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 Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, oh my god. Like how much trauma she went through. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, that's so sad. Oh. Okay. Oh. Oh. People in Japan get fevers all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're kids. I forget how often kids get sick. I really do. What about the dad? Well, I guess he's working, so maybe that's why. And all the plum syrup. Hmm. Oh. 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 Show. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Of everybody enjoying the plum syrup. Oh, love it. Yeah. Aw. Aw. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, and a ginger drink. Aw. I mean, it makes sense that they're chilled because it's summer. Aw. Oh, look at Ray. Look at Ray cleaning the dishes. Oh, of course he'd be good with the money because of all the shogi. He's the best. Aw. 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 Yeah, I don't think he's done anything like this. That's cute. Why? Oh my God. How has he gotten taller? Oh my God. He's insanely tall. Oh my God. How? Just how? Oh. Oh. And there's little tiny Akari. Oh. His wife seemed older even then. Like they had Mikako when, well, but Mikako was old enough to have Akari, so they were pretty older by then, yeah. Oh. Hmm. Everybody enjoying all that. Shut up. Rei looks like he's gotten a little bit taller. Wow. Oh. Calm down, sis. Oh. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, there we go. I love it. Yay. Come on, Kawamoto family. I always get Kawamoto and Kaminato from Ace of Diamond confused every time. Every time. All right. So this is after. So they're the March Town. That's why it is, yeah. Yeah, that's insane. Oh. Oh. They're like, we didn't make a lot of money, but it was good. Good business. Nice. Well, there you go. That's where you make your money. Yeah, exactly. Oh. Right. Yeah. Oh. 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 Notice the dad is not in the picture at all. He's not there at the shop. Oh. Okay, so their mom kind of has like a mix between her and Hina's eyes. Oh. Hmm. There you go. Go to. Oh, that's so cute. Oh. She's like, no, 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 calm down. Yeah, you. Oh. Yeah. Oh, well, I could study a little bit more. Oh, She's like, nope, bacon on the brain. Is she going to want to go to the same high school as Rei? Are her and Takahashi going to go to different schools? Oh. Maybe. Oh my god. Oh, we're back on this. Wow, dude, really? Oh my god, this winch. Oh my god. Wow. But no, I get it. I'm an old man! True. Oh. Ooh. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. Uh-huh. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Really? Oh. 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 Ooh, interesting. Hmm. But the goal isn't just to punish her, it's to make her be better. Hmm. Huh. Huh. Oh. Huh. Oh. Interesting. Oh, wow, him when he's younger. Hmm. Yeah. Become a better person than I was back then. What a winch. Huh. Wow. You don't know what to do. Wow. Yep. So bye. Bye, bitch. Wow. Damn. So bye. See ya. Have fun with that. Oh. Oh. Huh? Oh. Uh. Hmm. Hmm. Talk about this, about finding your purpose and relieving anxiety. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Wow. Wow. The contrast between Hina and Takashi or Takagi is insane. We'll definitely talk about it, but man, all right. All right. This song, this ED, I've kind of become slightly obsessed with it. I feel like the chorus, even if you have no clue what they're saying, it just, the way it just like the percussion, the beat, it just hits. It's like a drum, just, ugh. Ba, da, 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 and it just builds so good. Yeah, of course Hina's in the center there, right? Dee, dee, dee. Oh, get that preview on there, but oh my gosh. Well, are we surprised? Okay, this was precious. This was adorable, and I'm in love with this. Oh, oh. I love the concept of Rei just becoming more and more integrated into the Kawamoto family. I'm just becoming more of a fan of it because I'm like, look, I have my head canon. I want Rei and Hina to be end game. I want them to be a couple by the end of this. I want them to go through their high school days and like little crushy, like little blushy crush days. And then once she's graduated from high school and he's like a master shogi player and she's got the bake shop, like I want them to be a couple. I need them to be married. I want this. And I feel like the show wants it. So it's just like a matter of time. But things are never easy, right? So, oh my god, this episode was adorable. I feel like the mangaka does such an amazing job of of not only having this series focus on shogi, which is really really cool, but also the idea that it also focuses on just various things. Like you have Rei with the shogi, you have the teacher with the student trying to help her, you've got the idea of the bake shop and all the cooking stuff, and then you have Nikaido wanting to teach and do this and teach you how to play shogi. Like, the show focuses on so many different themes and everything, but it all feels cohesive and it all feels like it works, which is so wild to me. And I think the series does an amazing job with it. So let's go through this. They're trying to set up and figure out what are they going to make for this festival and what's going to be profitable and work out. So I'll be honest, this episode made me want to make these. I wanted to make these. I was like, oh, it just takes flour and water and you just boil them? That's all you got to do? I feel like I could do that. It makes you think, you're like, oh, I could probably make those. That doesn't seem that bad. So they have the refined rice flour. It is from domestic wetland glutinous rice, 100%. It seems like it's bougie, but knowing Akari, it's probably not. So they just made for their sticky flour dumplings. I love it. I am fully convinced at this point that Momo looks like the dad. There is no doubt in my mind. Unless the grandpa or grandma were like fair strawberry blonded hair like that, unless that was the case and they had green eyes, because we didn't really see what color the grandmother's eyes were. Unless that's the case, Momo looks like their dad. And I feel like, you notice in this entire episode, the dad is never mentioned. They never talk about him. It's like he is less mentioned than Bruno in Encanto. We don't talk about him. And I'm sure in the manga to come, he's probably going to pop up. I'm sure. Because if they're going to want drama, the show is cleverly like hinting around at him not being there, and it makes a very distinct impression that he is not present for all of this. What's fascinating to me is that during the sweets shop, like the flashback with the grandma and the mom. Now, granted, Makako and the grandma, they're focused on in the flashback, but in the storytelling, the grandpa's like, oh, well, during our festivals when your mom and your grandmother would sell stuff. And Akari's like, yeah, I remember that. So the big question is, was he around during that time and just wasn't present and was off doing his job or didn't have any interest in it? Or was he perhaps already divorced by then? But then Hina wasn't even around. Akari was a baby. So he has to have been there because Hina and Momo still had to be born. So he was clearly married to her, to Makako. So it's either one of a couple things. Either he was at a job and he worked long hours to support them and he wasn't able to be there. But given the impression that we have of him from the family, it could be that he was there, but just not an active participant because he was like, I don't really get this. And he wasn't there. Or he was there and just actively ignoring them. Or worse, was an asshole. I get the impression he's an asshole. But you know how this series goes. You think people are one way and then you find out something else. I'm like, I don't know. Nothing has given off a good impression. Like if Akari doesn't like you, that's saying something, right? Like Hina can get fiery, but if Akari, who's a ray of freaking sunshine, doesn't like you, then we got problems. And she seems to have a big issue. So I don't know what Shiratama syrup is. I'm going to look up Shiratama syrup because I was like, what is that? I'm like, how do you make such things? I'm from America in the Midwest. My palate's not quite as diverse. So, okay. Shiratama sweet rice dumplings. Oh, there we go. With brown sugar Shiratama syrup. Brown sugar. I love brown sugar. So, okay. So, oh, interesting. This looks interesting. And buttery beans. Is that like the red beans where they do that? Like adzuki bean paste? Oh, yeah. Now, I do like red bean paste. I've had that before and I actually like it. So, in order to make you have basically it's just brown sugar and water. Interesting. This is like they have a little bit of water or unsweetened soy milk, and that's literally it. Like this is the easiest stuff to make. I'm like, stick to your basics, clearly. But yeah, so they have a food stand at the summer festival, and honestly, this is July. So July 28th is the festival, so it's like end of July, almost to August, right? Which is crazy. Marchtown. I know people have called the city that they're in Marchtown, but I always forget about it until an episode like this. And I'm like, that's why it's called March Comes In Like a Lion. It's a play on the town's name. It's a play on the idiom. It's clever. But yeah, Marchtown. So if you've ever worked at a food stand before, the trick of being profitable at a food stand is to sell something very basic. If you get crazy, you're going to be wasting money. I used to be part of a youth group that we always sold ice cream at the county fair. We'd always go to the ice cream. We have an ice cream stand. We had a trailer it was in. We had an ice cream maker that we got on loan, and they would loan it out to us for like a little small, they mostly donated it to us. We just had to buy all the equipment and keep it clean and service it. And that was like our trade-in on it, so that they didn't have to do that. So that's what we ended up doing. And we had to buy the trailer and save up for that. But every year we sold ice cream, and we always kept it very simple. It was like chocolate, vanilla, or twist. Because if you start adding, the first year we did it, we wanted to get overly ambitious and we wanted to have strawberry and like all this other stuff. But then it wasn't profitable because not everybody wants niche flavors. Most people want strawberry. Most people want chocolate, vanilla, or twist. That's it. That's all you need. And then we would get kind of crazy. Like if somebody donated sprinkles, we'd give sprinkles to the kids to put on it and do that. But yeah, and usually we would get lucky and have the cups and spoons donated, which cut our costs a lot. But you can usually buy those in bulk, right? If you have like a retailer that sells it in bulk. Now in Japan, might be a different story. But you don't want to shake the boat and go outside the box. So the stuff that they're making, it sounds unique enough where it's like somebody's not just going to go make dumplings every day. So it is kind of like a treat, but it's something super simple. So yeah, and they just show you how to make it. I've watched Great British Baking Show enough as well to know that if you get too much water in that doughy mixture, it's going to get too sticky or too rubbery. Don't want to do that. You'll trick yourself. But Akari would do fairly well in the Great British Baking Show. And the way they explain it is so simple. Like I would watch a whole dang anime and I would read a whole dang cookbook if it was the Kamoto sisters explaining how to make these dumplings and these recipes. If it was them just explaining how to do it, I'd buy that and do it all day. I always keep wanting to call them the Kamonato, and that's an ace of the diamond. It's Kawamoto, Kawamoto. They're similar but different. So, and then little Momo getting in on the dumplings. I'm honestly curious because we're getting to the point where we're getting down to the wire of what the manga could go into detail with post this season. Obviously, I think the dad's going to show up at some point. I think they've hinted around at it. Now, whether it happens a lot later than this or not, I don't know. But I would be curious because Akari has memories and ties to the bake store, to Crescent Moon, and Hina has a natural want to take over the bake store. So that's cool. But Momo would be interesting to follow as she got older because she's learning these experiences kind of secondhand she's learning it from the grandpa who was there, but learning them kind of secondhand from Akari and Hina. So I'd be curious to see what Momo ends up doing, like in an epilogue or something like that, right? Interesting. But yeah, so they end up boiling the dumplings. They're super cute. I want to see they do the syrup and everything with the toothpicks, and they're so good. And so they're like, okay, they have all these. They're like, we have matcha, plum, sweet red bean soup, which is kind of what that one recipe talked about, and then the plum syrup. And then I honestly, look, I love matcha. I didn't think I would like matcha. Matcha is a very acquired taste. You either think it tastes really good or you'll think it tastes like lawn clippings. Is what I've been told. I like it. It has this earthy taste to it, and I'm not usually a smoky person, but it's not smoky. It's not sweet. It's just kind of like, it's earthy, but in like a delicious way. I don't know how else to describe it. It's one of the weirdest flavors I've ever had. Also has a lot of caffeine in it, and I'm a caffeine junkie, so I'm like, sure thing. But like the Pocky Sticks, the main flavor of Pocky Sticks I get are the matcha ones because there's just something kind of just different about them that my palate's like, yes. But I have heard a lot of people don't like matcha. And I don't like cold matcha. I've had cold matcha, or no, I've had, let me get this right. I've had warm matcha before, like a latte. Warm matcha, no, but cold matcha is pretty good. Like that. All right. But powdered matcha is expensive. Yeah. Powdered matcha is a big deal. It is very expensive if you get it. Let me see. How much is if we do the yen to US? You think by now I would have this conversion all out there. So they want to sell these cups for like $2. They want to sell these cups for like $2 a cup. That's interesting. So matcha powder, Japanese price is, I bet it's pretty expensive. It's like for, oh my God. Wow. So for like basically 2 ounces of it, it's like $32. Oh no. Oh no. Is matcha cheaper in Asia? Not necessarily. Wow. So it's pretty pricey. Yeah, that's really, really expensive. So for these girls, they're like, no, let's not do that. 60 dumplings out of 200 grams of flour. So then they're like, let's do cold milk tea. Well, milk tea is made out of black tea leaves, which I like milk tea. So they're like, that will be infinitely cheaper than the matcha. And it's probably still popular. I would go with the milk tea anyway, because chances are your audience is going to be like really hit and miss with matcha. But with milk tea, it's pretty much a standard flavor. So if you've ever had like bubble tea or anything, it's a pretty standard flavor. Also, the idea of them using like the pub and house and, bowls right there and then is super cute. And then they're like, well, Kiriyama wash them. And he's like, wait, what? I'm glad that Rei gets to get involved in this episode, because I thought when we saw him in that little montage of all the bowls and he's like, I'm a dishwasher now, I thought that was the only time we were going to see him in this episode. I thought that was it. But no, we actually get to have some interactions with him, and it's really, really cute. But yeah, so I agree. I think that is a good way to cut down on dishes. Now, I know in Japan, it is standard procedure that you don't, as far as I've researched, you all will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Japan is very much, since they don't like littering and things like that, like you stand there and eat your food, and then you give your dish back and you move on. You don't just walk around and like throw a can in the dumpster or whatever. You eat your food there and then you go about your way. So the fact that they have the bowls and stuff would make sense, because people are just going to sit there, eat the dumplings and the tapioca and then give it back, right? So it is worthy to note. I'm trying to because I'm obsessed with genealogy and all them. So Hina has her grandpa's eyes. Her grandpa's eyes are that like hazel color, right? The grandpa's eyes are that hazel color, and that's the color that Hina's are, which is super cool. And then it feels like Akari's mom, her eyes are kind of like a mix of the grandpa's and probably the grandma, who's probably that purple color, because they're kind of like an in-between, and Akari's are purple, probably like the grandma's. So again, I bet the dad has green eyes and strawberry blonde hair. Just saying. But yeah, I love the girls are like looking for their grandpa's approval, and he's like, well, I guess this is okay. It'll do. And then his inner monologue is like, damn it, this is really great. I love that. He's got just enough pride, doesn't want to admit their idea is really, really good. Right? Super cute. But he really likes the plum syrup. I think the plum syrup looks amazing. I would love that. And the plum syrup is from Chiho. And I like that the grandpa, he instantly gets it. He's like, oh yeah, from that girl, it's your friend. I feel like there's something so special about the fact that they got the syrup from Chiho, because it's like, it's karma, right? Because the grandpa, he has this look on his face like, this is karma. Like, we helped that girl out. Hina stood up for her. And now Hina is getting to get this plum syrup from her that we're going to use in our stand. And it's like all the cosmic karma is all coming full circle, is what it feels like. Right? Which I think is really cool. I like that a lot. But yes, they go visit her and go see her. I was like, show, you're trying to get me to cry. And it's not going to work, but damn it. This was really sad. Like sad in such a bittersweet way, because we know how Chio was before this. We know she was shy, but she wasn't like this. Like, to see her be so timid and to be so traumatized and to be slowly crawling her way back up and still having these episodes where she just freezes is heartbreaking. And the thing that's so heartbreaking, I think, for me, is that for the one girl, Tagami, whatever her name is, the bully, she's never going to see how much damage she caused. And the thing that's so sad is, even if she did, she probably wouldn't get it. She wouldn't get it. She wouldn't understand, or she wouldn't care. That's the part that sucks, is that girl, that bully, and her mom will not ever probably understand nor care about the damage they've caused Chio. And that's so heartbreaking, right? But at this point, I love that they go there. They get to see Hana and the puppies. She gets to see all the work that she's doing there on the farm. It's super cute. And okay, the fact that the dogs are like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And that's what they're saying all day long. It's such a great contrast to the cats that are like, feed me, do this, why aren't you doing this? Like the cats are having these big elaborate conversations with Rei and the sisters, and then the dogs are like, I love you, like all over and over again. Super cute. But yeah, when they're sitting under the tree and she just goes silent and spaces out. And it's really sad. Like it's so sad that, and Hina can see the effect that it's had on those memories and how her body's trying to resist it and reject it. And she's like, but Chio is working hard so that she can go back to how she used to be. And then the doctor comes and like shows her the journal and everything. Oh. Because I was thinking that, I was like, well, maybe, you know, by the time she's grown up, if she gets into a profession, she may not have to interact with kids anymore, you know? Maybe one of those things. I was wondering why. I feel like in anime all the time kids are getting fevers left and right. Like every 5 seconds somebody in an anime is getting a fever and being sick. But then, you know, the more I think about it, I'm not around little kids a lot, but my coworkers, some of them have kids, and they are sick all the time. And then I think back and I go, when I was a kid, I was sick all the time. Like I used to get sick a lot as a kid, like headaches and the flu and like all this. And I feel like, you know, your body builds up an immunity. And then once you're an adult, it's like, okay, no, we're good now. But you know, kids are sick all the time and I forget about that. And then when I watch an anime, I'm like, why has everybody got a fever 5 seconds in? And there we go. But yeah, they drop her off at the station. And the mom says, thank you for supporting her. She says, Chio and I will be doing our best here. So I don't know if I don't know if that was to imply that the dad isn't there or if he's just doing his job or what the case was, right? But they brought back, I love the scene where as they're on the train with the plum syrup and Hina's going through all the phases of her making friends again. And then you see Akari putting her hands over Hina's. Like that, just that silent solidarity with her sister being like, hey, it's fine. I know what you're thinking. Your friend's going to be okay. You're doing everything right like you should. Like this was nice of her. Like it was so sweet, but damn. Luckily, before it has a chance to get super sad, we cut to everyone enjoying the plum syrup that Chio made at the festival. And isn't that something like Chio, who had been made fun of and bullied, something that she created gets, you know, loved by other people? Like that makes me emotional too. But I love that Hina's like, I'm going to do good and we're going to go visit her again. Nice. So yeah, they come out. I love they have the little stand by the crescent moon. They have a little chilled ginger drink and all that. It's so cute. And they have the dumpling sauce and they're serving it. Like, it's so sweet. Like, I would go by there. That's so fun. And then Rei's sitting there cleaning the dishes. They are right. Rei is husbando material. He is going to make a great husband to somebody one day because he's like considerate. He's nice. He doesn't complain about doing the dishes and helping out. And he's like, I'm not used to doing this. I'm a shogi player. I don't do dishes. I haven't worked in a restaurant before. But he's like, this is kind of fun. It's something different for him. It's not like the silence and quiet. It's like you have the shogi hall that's so quiet and serious and still. And then this is like fun and carefree and hustle and bustle. And it's like a totally different vibe. And he's like, I kind of like this. This is kind of fun to do something different for a change. Like, and then of course he gets to count out the coins and stuff. He's a shogi player, so he's used to math and calculations and all that. But the grandpa's pretty much accepted him. The grandpa's like, here you go, kid. Here's some ginger drink. You're doing good. Like, I'm afraid in the manga something's going to happen to the grandpa is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid in the manga something's going to happen to the grandpa and it's going to cause the dad to come into the picture. And, I'm not ready for that. And then I would be like, Rei, step up and be like, I'm going to marry into this family and it'll be all right. You know, that's what I need. That's what I want. But we'll see if that happens. There's so many people here. Oh. So he's like, yeah, we're selling like crazy. This is, what does that backboard say? It's like JKB and all this. He's like, this is my first time doing something like this. So I'm surprised. That's kind of fun. And then Takahashi comes in, who is a giant. Takashi is enormous. He's so huge. It's crazy. But I feel like Rei's gotten a little bit taller too, but Takashi is like a giant. Like, what in the world? Oh my God. Anyway, then we get the flashback and we see Mikako and the grandma, and we see Akari as a wee little baby looking so adorable. Yeah, I can see Akari in her mom, and I could see Hina as well in the grandma too. Like, I can see Hina in the grandma. I can see that the mom favors the grandma a lot. Yeah, they have the same face. Yeah, the mom and the grandma look very similar. Yeah, that's super cute. Aw. And Akari was just a wee babe. So yeah, but then there's this scene where Hina's just standing there with Rei, and she's like, it's a nice night. And she's like, Rei, this is what I like. All these people, the warmth. It's so funny how Rei and Hina are very similar, but at the same time, they both love very different environments. Like, Rei kind of thrives in that cold snow of the shogi world where it's like still, and she kind of likes like the soft warmth and the people all around. She's like, this is the type of place I like. Oh, that's so good. She's like, I love this kind of thing. I love the two of them just standing there. Like, that's so good. Oh, I want to make that the thumbnail. And him just smiling, being like, I get it. Like, I get why you like this. He's like, yeah. That's so cute. I love them together. Yes, please. Give me all the shipping. I'm all in for it. So yeah, they have all their money and everything. And he's like, well, they're raking in the money and they sold out by 7 o'clock. And then the grandpa's talking about how, you know, he's like, because you gave him too many generous portions and everything. He's like, we didn't exactly make a whole lot of money. I like the idea that he's like, you know, we didn't make a whole lot. We're not going to be wealthy and rich and famous. But he's like, you know, the important thing is everybody enjoyed it. We got a lot of customers to come in. And I like the way that they kind of spun it around. He's like, yeah, we didn't make a ton of money off this festival, but we did like increase our clientele. We did get more people to know about our shop, and we did sell other goods while we were here. So it was really sweet. I liked it. Yeah. And then Akari being like, you know, when you go to the shop to get groceries, you always end up getting something extra. And then the grandpa reminisces and remembers like the cat popsicles and little bags that they got. Super cute. I love how fond he looks thinking back on that. He's like, there'd always be a line of people because they were such good salesmen. I feel like moments like that are very sad because it's very bittersweet. Like, it's so nice that they're remembering those moments, but then it's sad that they're not there. It's like, oh, but that's like real life. It's so good. And then, of course, Hina instantly wants to think about next year and like getting the shop and everything and having a stand like that. And then seeing little Akari, oh my gosh, with her mom, it's so cute. Oh. And then just like singing, getting everything there. So Hina obviously is thinking about what she wants to do next year. And Akari's like, hey, you might need to be, you know, practicing and getting ready for your entrance exam. You know, which schools are you going to? Like let's focus on the priorities that are here. And then you can think about those other priorities later. And she's like, sure, but the sweets next year, which is so funny. And like the red bean pancake, we got to make sure it doesn't dry out. So then we cut back. And I think this is important that we tie in the bully from 3A and this whole thing, because what's happened is Hina's found her passion. She's found what she wants to do. And her finding that is a way for her to alleviate any anxiety that she's had. Like when you find what you want to do, it does alleviate your anxiety in a lot of ways because you don't feel aimless. You feel like you have a purpose. I've talked about in other shows, like when people get older and they have to retire, sometimes they have a sense of, well, I'm not doing this job anymore. So what purpose will I have once this part of me is no longer something that I do every day? And they find other things. But I think that, it's very true that when you retire, there's that anxiety of, well, now that I'm not going to, it's kind of the opposite of Yanagihara. It's literally what we just got done looking at. Yanagihara and the reporter and Yanagihara are like, if we don't have shogi, what do we have? And who are we? And there's that anxiety that comes from that. But then the opposite is true, where if you don't know what your purpose is and you don't know what you're supposed to do, then you don't know your identity as well. And there's anxiety with that. So we kind of get to see in these episodes, they kind of, the thread point is the anxiety of our identity and what we do and what we don't do. And for Hina, just like Rei with shogi, well, I put a little asterisk by Rei with shogi because we still haven't technically gotten that answer of, does Rei like shogi? He's found ways to integrate it into his life successfully, and he's fascinated by parts of it, but does he feel the same way about shogi as Hina does about baking? I don't know about that. But Hina, for example, has discovered that she's like, I want to bake, I want to make confections, I want to run the family business, I've decided what I want to do. And because she's now figured that out, she's able to center, she will be able to center so much of herself around that, like what school she wants to go to, what she wants to do after school. Like she has kind of figured out what she wants to do with her life. And that may change along the way, but it's something. It's a start, right? And I was probably Hina's age in middle school when I figured out I wanted to be a teacher. And that was a big relief because even when I was in high school and I was experimenting, like, well, maybe I want to do this instead or that instead, I always had in the back of my mind, oh, I want to teach, and I can always fall back on that because I know I want to do that, but I can branch out. And so I didn't feel that anxiety of not knowing what I want to do. I'm an advisor now, so I talk to a lot of students. I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, and I always kind of feel bad for them because I'm like, well, if you don't know what you want to do, like, do you have any interests? Do you have that? And when they don't answer you, that's terrifying. Like, I can't imagine not having interests or a hobby or something in mind for a career. Like, I personally don't understand how that feels. So I'm like, oh, okay, then I guess we need to figure out like ways to help you find out what you want to do or what you're good at, So it is a source of anxiety. It really is. So we go to this homeroom teacher who's saying like, well, I couldn't be the homeroom teacher for class 3A because they're so bad. And the teacher we currently have, he's like, well, I'm old. I can't teach. When he said 90 students, I was like, oh, so there's 45 in a room. Oh, no. Like the school I went to, the biggest classrooms, like the class from hell that I substitute taught for, that was a third grade class. I mean, they had 28 in it. And that was enough. I can't imagine more than that. I'm used to like 25 or 20 in a class, but he's like, look, somebody's gonna have to take over. I can't do this forever. He's like, I'm here if you need me. I don't know if this guy would have been the guy to go through because he seems worse than the last teacher. Honestly, Takagi's mom is the one that scares him, which I get that. There are some parents that I'm like, I have had to work with parents of students, and there are some, I know who they are, and I know that they'll come stomping on in because their kid, little Jimmy or star pupil Sarah isn't getting all their just desserts, and you just look and you're like, ah, damn it. I gotta deal with them today, and put a smile on my face and go, oh, what's wrong? And then just, I hate it, honestly. So I feel his pain. But he is so obsessed with Takagi's mom being such a presence and not wanting to deal with her. He's like, I'm still a newbie. I can't handle her. And the other teacher's like, well, I can't be the homeroom teacher for 2 classes. So I'm old. You're going to have to deal with it. He's like, I've got my duties as head teacher. And they're like, well, how long is this ongoing discussion with Takagi going to last? So they're bringing it up. And the one teacher, he's like, well, getting her to understand what she did is part of the job. He's like, she needs to know what she did, why it was wrong, so that maybe she won't do it in the future or will think about it. But the other homeroom teacher, he's like, well, haven't we tried that? He says, we've tried that. With all due respect, no matter what else we say to her, it's not going to do any good. Like this homeroom teacher, he was done with her. He was like, no, we've tried. She's not listening. So we're done. She's decided to not feel guilty over it. And why do we spend all this time with her? Paying all this attention to the person who caused the trouble while the victim not only moved away from it. And he does bring up a good point. He's like, her actions have caused a kid to move away and she's not even going to school anymore. He's like, if she's unwilling to give in, even if there was no malice, if she's not going to admit to what was wrong, and after taking it this far, then when he says it doesn't matter if there was ill will or not, I was like, ooh. And you could tell the other homeroom teacher, he's like, because he knows exactly where this is going. He's like, you've made up your mind. And he's like, Komigawa. And he's like, I'll just write it on a record. As her new homeroom teacher, I'll write it all down. And he's like, and that way, that she thinks she's always right and is aggressive towards other people. That she's like the leader of the group, but causes major problems in class. And when somebody causes a problem, they need to take responsibility for it. That's what I believe. There has to be a punishment. Otherwise, that's wrong, isn't it? And I'm kind of like, you have different schools of thought. You have the teachers that ignore the problem. Like the one homeroom teacher, she just ignores it and lets it slide and does nothing, which makes the problem horrible. But then you have the opposite end of the spectrum, where you have the teacher that's like, okay, we're going to punish her. We're going to punish her. We're going to put a mark on her record. We're going to forever like plot it down, mark out and profile her and see if that does something. And I'm not saying there's not merits to punishment. I think sometimes discipline's very important. You shouldn't just let kids run amok and not have consequences to their actions. But at the same time, I feel like Kanagawa, his method is not trying. It's like a jail. It's like a prison where it's just like, we're going to punish you, slap you on the wrist. Now do better. And I kind of love the restorative justice approach that the headroom teacher says, that he's like, but she needs to know why it's a problem, because we can slap a punishment on it, but that's just going to fuel her cynicism. She needs to understand why it's a problem, why it's affecting people, and maybe that will help us get to the root of why she did it in the first place. The other homeroom teacher, he doesn't even care. He's like, well, I don't care if there's ill will or not. If she did something against the rules, she's going to get punished. And that's kind of not helping the situation either. And it's like, ooh. But yeah. So then the homeroom teacher's like, well, I'm going to have one more conversation with her before I go to explain to her what's about to happen. And of course, she is like, did you find a reason why everyone has to put out effort and do their best? Did you find something out? And he's like, I got nothing. I couldn't find an answer. And her face turns up into a smile because she thinks that she's won. She thinks she's won the battle, being like, oh, you didn't find it. And he's like, nope. And that kind of ties to Hina, because Hina's out there doing her best. And you could argue that it's for herself because she likes it. But we've learned from these episodes that, and we've learned from Yanagihara, as well as Hina, as well as Rei, as well as Shimada, we've learned throughout this entire series that we do our best, not for ourselves necessarily, sometimes for ourselves, in some ways for ourselves, but we do it to help others that have helped us along the way. Yanagihara keeps doing the best he can because of the people that put their hopes on him. Rei is doing the best he can because he wants to help someone else into a better situation. Hina is doing the best that she can because she wants to help Chio and make it to where they both feel a sense of accomplishment and that they've overcome their bullying. So it's not just them. The reason why people do their best and the reason why they should do their best is subjective and different for every person on this earth. So there is not a direct answer to that question that is a one size fits all. And I think that's what he's getting at. And he's like, no. And she's like, well, what the heck? You're supposed to find an answer. And he's like, yeah, I came up blank. And he does a really good bait and switch here. He does a really good bait and switch because he thinks he's giving her the answer that she wants. She wants to tell him that he's wrong and that there's no other answer. And he's so calm about it. He's like, yeah, I couldn't think of a reason. He's like, isn't that strange? He's like, when I thought about it, I realized I never had any doubts about it. He's like, I've never had doubts about the answer. And why was that? And then we get to see him as a young kid. He's like, it's hard to make an effort. But I always assumed that that's just what people had to do. All this time, I thought making an effort was something that you do for your own sake. But I love that shot. He's like, anyway, I've been told that often. I don't even remember who first said it or where I'd read the idea. I love seeing him as a kid. He's like, and now that I've reached this age, I felt that phrase was a true from the bottom of my heart. I feel like he says that going, he's like, I've lived it. He's like, it shows him like being a mail carrier or going off to a school and all that. And he has like the little patch on his jacket and everything. But he's like, I've lived long enough to realize that for me, that saying is true. And so I hold it to be true, right? I love that shot of him in the snow when he's younger. For the longest time, I probably just wanted to become a better person than I was back then. But he realizes that that's not true for everyone. Because she's like, well, why are we talking? Because she says, oh, so we're suddenly talking about you. Because she's not the same as him. He's like, well, I always believed this because this was for me what was true. And it clearly doesn't apply to you. And she's like, is that going to take long? She's like, she tries to make a joke to him. And tries to like mock him. And he goes, no. He's like, time's up. I love this. This is my last day as your class's interim homeroom teacher. Because in the moment, she feels like she has the upper hand. She feels like she's calling him out and being like, oh, well, is that all you got? Well, you're not like me, so whatever. And he just smacks the book down and says, no, actually, you probably have liked these meetings where we've met together and talked things out because it's been like a little therapy session for you, whether you want to admit it or not. But those days are over. He's like, no, this is my last day. And this is the reversal, right? He goes to Kagi. Right now, I think you have a lot of anxiety because you don't know what to do. And he's like, this is my last time talking to you. So I'm just going to lay it out on the table, what I think, and you can do whatever you want with it. I love it. And he says that to her. He's like, you haven't done anything in your life yet, so you don't know what you're capable of. And that just like smacks her. That's the cause of your anxiety. And she just is like Mr. Kokubu. And he's like, nah, we're done. You refuse to make an effort with anything because you're scared of learning your own capacity and being disappointed by it. That's it. Like that insecurity. He's like, you are just mocking and you're just trying to make a fool of other people because you're afraid that you aren't going to measure up to anything. And you're afraid you're going to be disappointed when you're mediocre and you don't live up to the hype that you've set for yourself. So you try to act apathetic like you don't care, but you do care. You care so much because you're afraid. You care so much that you're too afraid to find out your limits because you're afraid of what that will spell for you the rest of your life. Oh my God. And then he's like, but Takagi, as he's walking away, it's okay to be disappointed. Once you know your own capacity and you understand what it is that you should do. He's like, you need to learn your capacity so that you can figure out what you're going to do about it. Yeah. When you understand yourself, that what you want to do will also become more clear. I love that he gets further and further from her and she gets more and more distant in the background. Because yeah, the quicker you figure out what you can't do, it's actually not a bad thing. And I feel like a lot of parents, at least where I'm at, they want their kids to do nothing but succeed. And I'm like, but then when they fail, it's going to suck. Because you got to figure out real quick what you're good and not good at. I knew by the time that I was in high school, I suck at math. There is no way I could be a doctor. There's no way I could be an engineer. There's just no way. My brain doesn't work that way. And I had to come to terms with that very quickly and go, yeah, you're not going to be a doctor or a physician or a physicist. That's just not going to happen. Your brain does not function that way. And that's a hard lesson to learn. But if you know your capacity and what you're capable of and what you're not capable of, you can kind of weed out and find new things that you are better at. And that helps you to find that purpose, right? He says once you do that, you'll at least be able to get past your incredible anxiety. Oh, I can guarantee at least that. Damn. And then he just shuts the door. I like that we have the sugar and the bright colors, and you have Hina drawing the drawings, and we cut from Takagi in that classroom by herself with her anxiety and her uncertainty, and he's like, I tried to help you, but you're going to have to do this at this point because you shoved me away. And then we cut to Hina, who, because she knows what she wants to do, has a lot of ambition and ideas, and it's just kind of put her in a better place, right? So, bless. I love it. I love all the drawings and everything. So good. So yeah, oh my god, this episode was amazing. I want to talk real quick about the end card. The end card. Rei with the buff body and the chesticles sticking out like he looks like Wolfwood from Trigun. That's amazing. I'm not surprised that they put Akari in this skimpy turtleneck backless cardigan. What even is this fashion? It's a backless cardigan turtleneck. No. I mean, she looks great, but no. And then Hina is in some kind of magical girl futuristic sci-fi outfit, which is kind of cool. I like that one. But yeah, with the shogi and everything, ridiculous. Rei also looks like he's so buff, but then he has this cute little face. Insane. It's done by Akiman, is the person that does the illustrations here. And Akiman has done Street Fighter covers. They've also done different designs, I think mainly for Street Fighter, Katsuka, Bodacious Space Pirates. Fun times. But yeah, a lot of it looks like 90s Street Fighters, which is very cool. Very cool style. I think that all the characters look really good in that style. I think they look great. But yeah, what the fudge? So yeah, this was a great episode, y'all. I loved this. Anytime we got to visit with the Kawamoto sisters, I'm digging it. But in any case, I'm super excited. We only have 3 episodes left. So I'm going to be looking forward to whatever the show gives us. But in the meantime, I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And yeah, I'm back real soon with more of March Comes In Like a Lion.